So is your dispatcher draining your pocket? Are you going broke because of your dispatcher? Whether you're a company driver, owner operator, or lease operator, we all get affected by our dispatcher. But let's find out how can we get affected and how deep we can get affected and how we can actually go broke because of our dispatchers. Let's get into it. All right, so point number one, how you can go broke because of your dispatchers. Well, if you're waiting between loads or if your dispatcher is not coming in. So let's say you did a delivery in Chicago and you don't have a pickup and you're waiting 4, 5, 6 hours in order to get dispatched on your next load. Well, that means you're losing money. Why are you losing money? Because your hours are going, your clock is running, and you are not driving. You're just waiting around for a load and you're on duty. Well, I think you're on duty. But yes, definitely delay between loads can make you go broke or make you have less money. Point number two, layovers. So if you are coming to Atlanta, Georgia, and you did your delivery at around lunchtime, and if you don't have a reload and your reload is only the following day, well, that means you're losing money. Even though you're getting paid or compensated, you should be getting paid a layover fee, but that's really only $100. I mean, can you really survive? I think you'd be spending a lot more money at the truck stop from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. until the following morning. You'd be spending a lot more than $100 at that truck stop. So layovers can actually make you go broke. The third thing, if you're getting a load that has appointments on LTL load, so let's say you have a trailer and your first delivery is North Carolina, second delivery in South Carolina, your third delivery is Georgia. Now, if you have delivery appointments for these LTLs and you're not fairly getting compensated for them, well, you could be going broke because of that. In order for you to be able to meet these delivery appointments, well, I'm sure there's waiting times in between the deliveries, so that can make you go broke also. Number four, if you are working for a company that has a yard, we'll take Pennsylvania, and if they have a terminal in Pennsylvania or North Carolina, and that terminal they have local drivers, well, if you're coming to your home terminal, you really should not be doing your own pickup or your own delivery at that terminal. If you are a long haul driver, whether you're an owner operator, lease operator, or if you are a company driver, you should be hooking onto that trailer in the yard and then driving your miles. You shouldn't be going to a pickup, from the pickup, then start doing, especially in your home terminal. Number five, so if you are in a situation where you come to the yard and you're constantly hooking onto defective equipment. So yes, equipment does get old, and if you're driving for a fleet that has older units, well, every time you're hooking onto that trailer, if you're doing a proper PTI, and you find that the equipment is defective, well, now every time you're hooking onto a new trailer, you're losing time, which means you're losing money. So if you're hooking onto trailer number one, that trailer number one has an air leak, you're hooking onto trailer number two has a bald tire. Well, each time you call dispatch and tell them the problem, and every time they have to get you a new trailer, well, that all takes time, and that means that you are losing money. Point number six, fuel cards. If you're ever at a fuel station and your fuel card is not working, now you're calling dispatch is supposed to call safety gives you a code, or they're working on a problem. Well, that is time, and time is money. So if you're losing time because your fuel cards are not working, or your Easy Pass is not working, or something is not working that you have, you're losing money and you're losing time. Point number seven, for those cross-border drivers, if your customs clearance is not ready for you and you are waiting constantly for your customs clearance, if you're losing time, then you're losing money. One of the dispatcher's responsibility, especially for the cross-border drivers, is to make sure that the driver's paperwork is cleared before the driver arrives at the border. Number eight, so a lot of dispatchers, not only are they dispatchers, but they're also booking loads. So here at ET Transport, we actually have those two positions are separated. We have guys that are booking loads and work with customers, and we also have, the dispatchers that are constantly dispatching the drivers. But in most companies, the ones booking the load is usually the person dispatching the driver. So if you have a dispatcher that is not a good negotiator, that doesn't fight for you or fight for every dollar, then you are probably leaving money on the table, because we all know that when posted loads say a certain amount, you should be bargaining with them and you should be asking for an extra $100 or $200. But if you have a dispatcher that doesn't do that, and a lot of people in the US are working on a gross commission split. So if you're working on a gross commission split and your dispatcher does not bargain or bargain well, you could be leaving money on the table, and that's your money. All right, number nine. So this one is a big one. So a lot of dispatchers, you get great money going one way, but you can't come out of there. So sending you as a driver to a location where there's no backhauls will definitely make you go broke. So for example, if you're doing a load from Illinois to Florida and it only pays $2 a mile, well, good luck getting out of Florida for, more than $1.10 per mile, because all the loads pay $1.10 per mile coming out of Florida. So the dispatcher really has to know, in order to send you to Florida, he really needs to book $3 per mile at least, and then you can come back up for the $1.10 in order to have over $2 a mile, which is currently the national average is at approximately $2 per mile. So definitely sending you to places where there's no backhauls can make you go broke as an owner operator, lease operator, or even a company driver. All right, and the last one is not getting you fixed in a timely manner. So let's say you have a breakdown, a tire explosion, you're hauling the company's trailer, something happens to you on the road. Now, if your safety department or your dispatcher, depending on who does it in your particular company, but if the dispatcher or the safety team is not on top of their game and is not getting you back up fast enough, well, then you are losing money with the downtime. So I know that here, for example, ET Transport, if a truck is down, whether you're in the US or Canada, if it's more than 24 hours or 48 hours, I don't know what the rule is, but they'll get you into another truck to work while that truck is down, especially now with trucks being down for longer and longer periods of time. You really don't want to be sitting around doing nothing, in a hotel. Well, if you're in a hotel, you're really not making money. So those are 10 really good points on how you could be losing money because of a dispatcher or because of the company that you're working for. So keep your eyes open. Now, if you're ever in a situation where you've had enough of a dispatcher and you want to become a dispatcher yourself, make sure you're taking my dispatch course, because it'll definitely help you out to avoid these 10 mistakes that dispatchers do in order to make you go broke. I'm Ronan, and I'll catch you in my next video.